Welcome to the video where I will explain why I'm indifferent to Jericho's Guard, Frigate, Zealot and Star conflict. Here it is, you can see it right there. It's a well designed, it looks really nice, and looks really powerful. And this very powerful ship, when you fly in the combat against it, it also looks extremely intimidating. It's a rank 2 ship and it's a Guard frigate. That means it's there to protect the other allies against missiles, and we'll talk a bit about that and is that actually possible. Now, I leveled it up to level 5, and therefore now I have 35,174 points of survivability. All this is done just by linearly leveling everything up, except one thing that you can choose for and that's a hull. Here I chose the reinforced beams again to protect the ship, to improve its survivability, rather than EM insulation, because I don't really get hit by EM attacks that often, so don't really see a point for it. Now, as I mentioned, this is a ship that has a lot of survivability, so it stays in the fight longer and handles itself quite well. It absorbs a lot of damage, so because you have hull and the ship and the shields there available. So what it leaves is that all you need is the defense against missiles, and that's why I chose the flares module here to protect myself against the missiles. Theoretically, like I mentioned before, this is a guard ship, so it's supposed to protect the allies against missiles too, but I have no way to tell if the allies are being targeted by missiles, so I generally just protect myself. Second module is the mass propulsion inhibitor, and this is a nice module here because when you activate, all the enemy ships within 2-kilometer range slow down, and they also have a hard time using afterburners at the same time. So therefore it makes it easier to target them, because this is still a frigate, so it's still slow. The fighters can still do loops around it, so in order to be able to kind of avoid being shot at from all the directions and being unable to return fire, this module really helps. Finally, there's another special module that helps this here, and that's a phase shield, which means when you dealt damage of a certain type, you can kind of swap between different types of damage. You will absorb some of this damage and deal it back to the enemies when you're firing back at them. So it's pretty good. They also have a speed bonus if you activate it, and when you activate them, the type of damage that you're supposed to be receiving swaps. But I don't use that often, and that little boost of speed have not been really useful to me, it seems. But maybe if you play long enough, it might be useful, but I'm not gonna get around to playing that long enough. I'm gonna move on to the next ships, right? So that's it for overall, to show you the picture of it, and let's go into battle and see how the ship handles itself in battle. Now, while we're waiting for the game, let's talk about a bit of the history of the ship. Zealot was developed by Saladin family of the Frontier. Frontier is what was Jericho called before, and it was used by all the families of Frontier because it's a good ship for that, right? It's still actually being used by some of the families as a kind of a supporting ship. It's no longer the front line or anything like that, but it's still being used. So that's it for the story of the ship into the history. Hopefully we'll be able to jump into the combat very soon. Alright, we got the game here. Let's select the right ship so we can jump into battle with the right ship. And let's go. So we're going to be just all-in-out brawl here, and that's actually the game mode that this ship is really good at. Here's our allies. Let's go and stay together. It's always better to stay together, but I'm gonna switch to thermal weaponry. And let's go. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, here it is. Here they are, my enemies. Let's go ahead. Let's give them a bit. Now we're gonna slow them down. Oof, we're getting hit. And let's get out of here a bit. We're getting hit. Oof, now we got him. Alright, flares. let's close the distance. And we're gonna use gonna stop it from running. Alright, good. Now we're being helped here a lot. Alright, let's get rid of the drones. Let's see where the enemies are. Where are they? Somebody's shooting at me. That's not good. We're still in the fight though. It helps that our allies also been healing us, but let's slow him down. And there we go, good. Oof. Somebody's hitting us again. Alright, and that's it. So you pretty much saw actually what everything is to offer with this ship. It stays in combat pretty well because it has a lot of shield and it's pretty strong hull. You got missile defense that you can use when you don't forget about them, like I do sometimes. And you deal quite a bit of damage. Also, your modules do help out to slow down the enemies from running away from you. So why am I indifferent to this ship? Well, despite all these good things, one thing that this ship seems to be missing is some kind of something special to it. Just, yeah, I understand it's special. It has modules that seems to be kind of doing things, but I'm just not feeling them to be that interesting to play around with. It's a good ship, but by all means, everything like about it is like if you look at it, everything's good, but it's just I'm just not finding this mix of its abilities to be really something that kind of clicks for me. Like, oh yes, that's exactly what I want to do. This is exactly how, or something that I want to come back to and replay with or mess around with. But overall, still good ship. Well, thank you for watching and for listening. If you like this video, please like it. If you didn't like it, don't like it, and please follow and subscribe.